Hey guys, what's going on? It is Rick, and I'm here with my December review video. Like I said, trying to play catch up from taking the month off. So I am going to get right into the reviews. However, the first thing I want to show you guys is I got a package here from, I gotta do some hand covering. I got a package here from Mill Creek Entertainment. This stuff just dropped on January 14th, which is 2 days ago from recording this video. I'm recording all this stuff on the 16th, Thursday. So I want to show you guys what they sent over to me. I'm excited. I've never seen any of these movies, and I am very excited about checking all of them out. The first one is I believe it's a romantic comedy starring Jennifer Lopez and Ralph Fiennes, and that is Made in Manhattan. I've never seen this. It looks like it also stars Stanley Tucci, Natasha Richardson, and Bob Hoskins. So it's a great cast. My girlfriend, I believe, said this is a pretty good watch. So we'll definitely check this out sometime. Still playing catch up with 2019 movies to get my best of 19, worst of 19 video out to you guys the beginning of February. So keep your eyes open for that. And I have that big Steelbook collection video. But anyway, Made in Manhattan, very cool. The next thing here, I have piles all over the place, is a Blu-ray double feature. I'm Not Rappaport with Walter Matthau and Ossie Davis, yes. And Dad, which is the title I'm more excited about in this two-pack with Jack Lemmon, Ted Danson, and Ethan Hawke. I've never seen either of these, but I've heard from people they're both very good movies. Looks like it's a 4-hour and 14-minute runtime, but it doesn't break it down by movie. But definitely intrigued to check both of these titles out. And then the title I was most excited about, also a Blu-ray double feature, a Joaquin Phoenix double feature, and it is Return to Paradise and Reservation Road. Reservation Road also stars Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Connelly, and Mira Sorvino, and Return to Paradise stars Anne Heche, Vince Vaughn, and Joaquin Phoenix. So the synopsis on both of these movies sound really good. One is a Focus Features film from 2007. The other is a Polygram movie from 1998. 3 hours and 34-minute combined runtime. Like I said, they both sound really good. They're both rated R. Made in Manhattan is PG-13, and Dad is PG, and I'm Not Rappaport is PG-13. So thank you, Mill Creek Entertainment, for sending these over for me to check out. I will be doing so hopefully sooner than later. So like I said, we're going to dive right into December reviews. You guys are going to notice that there are a lot of Christmas movies here. I did watch a lot less movies, I believe, than I did in November. I watched 19 movies in December. A lot of that is tied to holidays, stuff going on with family, New Year's Eve, all that kind of stuff. But I will tell you guys, January, I have watched a ton of movies already. It's only the 16th, and I believe I've watched 23 movies. So the January review video will be a huge, long video. So stay tuned for that. Probably not for a little while, but I'm going to dive right in. The first thing I watched was on Amazon Prime, a movie I had never seen before, and that was Home for the Holidays. That was more, if I remember correctly, a Thanksgiving movie. I had never seen the movie. Bridget had recommended I check it out. I personally was not a big fan of the movie. I thought that Robert Downey Jr.'s character playing Holly Hunter's brother was the highlight of the movie. I just found the family to be kind of annoying. I get that's the purpose of it, but they weren't very likable to me or watchable. I spent time asking why it's certain things instead of laughing, which is that makes no sense. I guess, instead of laughing, I was trying to figure out what was going on in the scene or why they were doing it. I'm glad I checked it out, but it's definitely not something I need to watch again or anytime soon. Not going to be added to like my Christmas movies or Thanksgiving movies I need to watch. The same can be said for the next one, which actually was a Dollar Tree title. One I've been wanting to watch for a while, and just kind of got thrown by the wayside like most Dollar Tree pickups do. And that is A Merry Friggin' Christmas starring Joel McHale and Robin Williams. This was pretty bad. I didn't hate the movie. It just left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. The cast is really great in the movie. Besides Robin Williams and Joel McHale, you have Lauren Graham, Clark Duke, Oliver Platt, Candice Bergen. But the story just felt like it didn't know what it wanted. Did it want to be an R-rated movie? Did it want to be like a PG-13 gritty family movie? It just had, you know, it was all over the place, the thought process here. And, you know, the other thing I found weird about the movie is it's not rated, I think. It's 81 minutes. It's not rated. There were parts of the movie that like felt like they were trying to be an R-rated movie, like I just said. But then there were parts where they would like tone down their language so it was almost like a PG, like dag nabbit or son of a gun. Like it just felt weird. The tone of the movie felt very weird. It's nothing I need to watch again, but it's not as bad as I think it should have been. For something that felt so messy, it was watchable. I give it a 1.5 out of 5. Once again, nothing I need to watch, and this will be getting traded in. This is not making the shelves, guys. So the next thing we watched was Let It Snow on Netflix. Basically advertises a multiple teen story, kind of like a Love Actually situation, but with teenagers. Takes place on Christmas Eve, and you know, there's multiple stories going on with romance, and they're all meeting at basically a Waffle House. And the movie's not memorable, but compared to the first couple things I watched in December, I enjoyed it a little more. It was easily consumable. Don't know if I would necessarily need or want to watch it again soon, but possibly down the line. You know, it's nothing amazing, but it was a fun watch in the holiday season. If you guys haven't seen it, I recommend maybe checking it out. I give it a 2.5 out of 5, so middle ground for me. And then next we have our Hot Trash of the Month already, guys. Only 4 in. And I'm checking because last month I forgot to do my Hot Trash and Surprise of the Month, so I'm verifying that I have a Surprise of the Month, which I do, so we're good. Hot Trash of the Month, another Dollar Tree title. I know, surprise. And Happy Christmas, starring Melanie Lynskey, who's the lady here on the right. She was on, what did I recognize? She was Rose on 2.5 Men. I was getting there. And of course, Anna Kendrick here on the left. Lena Dunham is in this movie. I'm not a big Lena Dunham fan. She plays friends of Anna Kendrick, and she comes off just as annoying in this movie as she does in Girls and other things. This is what's known as a mumblecore movie. I don't get the meaning behind mumblecore as a genre or why it's called mumblecore. I know there's a lot of talking that basically leads nowhere, so maybe that's why they call it that. And it's advertised as a Christmas movie, but just kind of conveniently feels like a movie that takes place at Christmas, and not really a Christmas movie, Die Hard. So, you know, it's your typical indie flick. It takes place at Christmas time and not a lot happens. Basically, Anna Kendrick comes to live with her brother and his wife, played by Melanie Lynskey, and she's a mess. She doesn't really have her head on straight, Anna Kendrick, and she's kind of a screw up and selfish. And there's great actors in the movie, but they're just not given much to do. Anna Kendrick, I have here in my notes, Anna Kendrick shows up in multiple scenes and the camera is pointed at her and she awkwardly just kind of does nothing. Like she fiddles with her zipper and doesn't say any lines. It just feels very weird. The way it was shot looked pretty bad too. It wasn't appealing to the eyes. And then to make matters even worse, I thought this was a first time watch. And then as I logged it in Letterboxd, apparently I saw this movie in 2014. and I forgot all about it. But the funny thing is, I gave it a 1 back then too, so surprise, my grading holds up, at least from 6 years ago on this. Hot Trash of the Month. It didn't get a half a star out of 5. It got 1 star out of 5, so that's a good thing. But this was a month with a lot of first-time Christmas watches or stuff that I haven't seen in a long time, so that was bad. That's going to Pam's. That is not making the shelf. Next, speaking of Anna Kendrick, we decided to check out Noelle on Disney Plus, and the movie basically felt like a big mixture of, did I say Elf? Noelle? The movie's Noelle, but it felt like a mixture of Elf, the Santa Claus movies, and Fred Claus all thrown into a ball. It's not necessarily an instant classic, in my opinion, but it's definitely something I can see revisiting, in a year or two. If RJ wanted to watch it, or if my family wanted to watch it, I would definitely sit there again. Anna Kendrick is very lovable in the movie. She's the title character, Noelle, and she makes the movie very watchable. I wish Bill Hader was in the movie more, and his character was a little different. His character came off very whiny and not necessarily pleasant to watch on screen. But the next movie I watched, a lot of people were ranting and raving on Instagram and Facebook. I had never actually seen the movie and have wanted to check it out, and that is 8 Crazy Nights on DVD. Didn't love this, guys. It was... it's only 75 minutes, which is good, because after 75 minutes, it's overstayed its welcome, in my opinion. I don't get all the hype for the movie. It was okay. Some of the comedy was just bizarrely weird. All the stuff with the reindeer and Whitey was... Whitey? Yeah, Whitey and Davy. It was just really bizarre. I don't get it. There's many other Adam Sandler movies I would watch again in front of this. I like that it's a holiday movie, a Hanukkah movie. There's not many of those, so that's great. But it's also, I don't know if I'd bragged that this is hey, check out this Hanukkah movie. It was let's watch the Adam Sandler one where the reindeers poop and stuff. It was, yeah. I give this 2 out of 5. It's going to go on my shelf. RJ, I think, liked it, but yeah. Anyway, so 8 Crazy Nights. Next was a movie we actually saw in the movie theater. I don't think we made it out to the movies much. It looks like, I think we only saw 3 things? 2 things. We only saw 2 things in the movies, this being one of them, and we wanted to catch this before it left movie theaters. And that was Queen and Slim. We saw it using Regal Unlimited. Queen and Slim stars Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out, of course, and Jodie Turner-Smith. And it's basically about a couple who the movie starts out and they're kind of on a dinner date, and the guy's asking why she, I guess they're on a Tinder basically, and wants to know why she responded to him all of a sudden and said, "Do you want to get dinner?" And she's a practicing lawyer. I forget exactly what he did because it's been about a month since I've seen it. But they're leaving dinner, and he's driving her home, or they're going somewhere. I can't forget the setup, but a cop pulls them over because they're playfully fighting, and he swerves a little in the lane, and the cop pulls him over. And the cop's using kind of excessive force and asking to have his trunk searched. And the woman wants to know, what are the reasonings? It seems a bit excessive. And basically the cop pulls a gun on them. And all this is being filmed by his dashboard camera. And then the girl gets shot. This is all in the first 10 minutes of the movie. The girl, Jodie Turner-Smith, gets shot, and then Daniel Kaluuya tackles the police officer, gets his gun, and he kills him. So they basically go on the run, kind of like Bonnie and Clyde style where they're on the run from the law, but, you know, was it excessive force by the cop? All these people that they're interacting with, you know, are saying, you know, they support them, they believe in what they did because, you know, it seemed a bit, you know, why did this cop shoot the girl? Why was he, you know, being so aggressive? They're great on screen together. Their chemistry is so good. The film looks good. The soundtrack in the movie is really good. There are pacing issues in the middle of the movie that kind of like slow it down and mess with it. The first act is great. The third act is awesome. But the second act just kind of like meanders around. They're basically, like I said, they're on the run, you know, without spoiling anything. And the other weird thing is there's these long lingering shots of people in cars not really having conversations. They're just, you know, there's a camera on them and they're just sitting there like driving. You know, Lena Waithe, who, if you're not familiar, was on Master of None, Aziz Ansari's show, and did writing on there. She wrote the movie, and the movie is very important. You know, it's a movie that needs to be seen. I think movies like this and The Hate U Give. There's another movie we checked out later in the month that we'll get into. Didn't like that one nearly as much as this. I have a 3 out of 5 written here. It's probably closer to a 3.5, honestly. Really good. It drops, I want to say it comes out early March, end of February on 4K and Blu-ray. Definitely do yourselves a favor and check it out if you haven't seen it. If you guys haven't heard of it, check out the trailer. It was really good. Definitely worth watching. I think you guys should try to grab it and, you know, rent it or buy it or whatever you guys want to do. The next movie, The Public, which I watched on Blu-ray from the library. Basically, it's a movie that stars Emilio Estevez, also written and directed by him. And it's about a guy who runs, I want to say it's the Cincinnati Public Library. He doesn't run it, but he's like one of the higher up managers there. And there's a big homeless issue at the library. It's getting into winter. People are, you know, homeless people are being found dead. So they basically, the homeless people decide they're going to have a sit-in at the library. The movie has a great message and good performances, but it suffers from an overlong runtime. It's like over 2 hours. Definitely, like, if this movie was 90 minutes, and I could even probably go through and kind of pick and choose what could get cut, I think the movie jumps up at least a star grade, if not a star and a half. But it stars, like, you know, Emilio Estevez, Alec Baldwin, Christian Slater, Jenna Malone, Taylor Schilling from Orange is the New Black, Michael K. Williams. The movie has good moments in it, but the length just kind of kills the movie. I give it a 2 out of 5. Like I said, if I could edit like a half an hour out of the movie, I think it's a 3 to 3.5. The movie has great message, but it gets lost in the length, in my opinion. The next thing we watched was a 4K movie, something Bridget and I had never seen, and that was The Grinch on 4K, the new, I believe it's 2017 or 2018. Let's see here. 2019? No. I believe Grinch came out in 2018. It definitely did not come out last year. So The Grinch was fun. It was cute. You know, Max was great in the movie. But why? This movie didn't need to get made. There's the original classic animated 25-minute movie. There's Jim Carrey's movie, which some people hate. I like it a lot. It's a great Christmas movie. There were a lot of weird tweaks to the story. Like Cindy Lou Who's mom is a single parent. Why? It was cute and funny, just unnecessary. 3 out of 5, but why do we keep doing this? Fresh ideas, people. Fresh ideas. There's plenty of great original movies out there. Next thing, Jumanji, The Next Level. Saw it Regal Unlimited / 4DX. I took my little sister. She's not little anymore. My youngest sister, and RJ and Bridget and I, and we went to the movies, 4DX, and, you know, saw Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. Was incredibly excited about this movie. Loved, not Welcome to the Jungle, The Next Level. Loved Welcome to the Jungle. had very high hopes for this movie. Huge letdown. You know, the jokes were very one note. I did enjoy Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart as Danny Glover and Danny DeVito, but it gets really old after about 10 minutes of the same joke all the time, repetitive, over and over, lame. I think Jack Black stole the movie again. I think he was the best part of Welcome to the Jungle. I think he's the best part of Next Level. You know, minor spoiler alert, although if you watch talk shows or read anything online, Awkwafina's in the movie. She was also pretty good in it. But like Karen Gillian was the same character she was in the first movie, which was okay. But The Rock and Dwayne Johnson, whatever, Kevin Hart, I don't know. The movie just disappointed, and it was a real shame. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. I'm not going to really vent about my experience there, but I'll briefly say there were 10 people in the movie theater. The 4 of us sitting there, a couple directly next to us, probably in their like late 20s, early 30s. And in the end of the aisle, there was a mom and like teenagers. And when I say teenagers, I don't mean 13, 14, like 17, 18. So it was like a mom and her 3 or 2 teenagers. And they proceeded to talk the entire movie after we them multiple times. Like I had spent, even though I have Regal Unlimited, Bridget and I had to pay an upcharge, was like $7 for our tickets. But we had to pay for, or I paid for RJ and, you know, my sister's ticket. And that was another like, I think it was like $60 total, like with fees and their tickets. And this lady did not stop talking. And then her kids are talking the whole time. We're shooing them. And I had like, I waited till the movie was done because I didn't want to get up. It's a 4DX movie. Like, I don't want to get up and find somebody. So I confronted the lady after the movie and I was like, you really need to, you know, work on how you behave at a movie theater. And I don't know how you taught your kids how to behave in a movie theater, but it's not your living room. You can't just sit here and talk. Like, didn't you pay $80 plus for the 4 of you to sit here? Plus they had a bunch of concessions. So they probably dropped like $140 to eat and watch the movie. And they were so ignorant. They did not shut up. And I confronted them after the movie. It made me feel better because, you know, I just wish people were more considerate when they went out to theaters. You know, we've been in movies a handful of times this year already. And 1917 was one of the best experiences theatrically I've had in a long time. A full theater, no talking. Like, just people engaged in the movie, no talking. That's how it should be. You can talk during the trailers. You talk during all commercials. That's fine. I get it. Go on your phones. When those credits start, the mouth should go shut and the phone should go shut. And people just aren't considerate. But rant over. Next movie I watched was a first-time watch for me. My son's favorite movie. So I was a good dad and decided to finally check out, see what all the hype was about. And that is Nightmare Before Christmas. This is my sweet Blu-ray Steelbook. So I've put this movie on numerous times before for RJ. I usually go right to sleep. I had zero interest in checking it out. It's not really my type of movie. And I'll say this, I appreciate what it takes to make this movie. And the behind the scenes was fascinating, how they created Jack and Sally and what they had to do with their different faces and movements. But, you know, I love the music in the beginning of the movie, not so much the rest of the movie, but I'm not a fan. 75 minutes long and I was still like sitting there attentively trying to watch it. I was still fighting sleep watching this movie. It's just not for me. I'm not a big fan of some Tim Burton stuff, and I know it wasn't directed by him, but I know, you know, it was the story and song by him. It's a revolutionary movie for filmmaking and stop motion. Just not for me. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. I'm not saying I hated it, but a lot of that is the appreciation for what went into making the movie and the music in the film. Is it something I need to sit and watch anytime soon? No. RJ is more than welcome. He has a TV in his room. He can watch it whenever he'd like. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5, guys. Did not love it. However, the next movie I did love, and this was a rewatch for me, a first-time watch for Bridget, and that is Better Watch Out here on beautiful Blu-ray. This movie is a blast. Bridget really liked the ending, and she said it kind of made up, it made the movie for her. But the way this movie was marketed, if you watch trailers and compare it to what you get, it is awesome because you get what you don't expect. And it's just a fun movie. Although this movie did also spark an argument between Bridget and I. Not so much an argument, but a debate. Like, is this a Christmas movie or is this just so happen to be I don't even want to classify it, but like a home invasion horror movie that takes place at Christmas. I thought there was enough theming to Christmas that just like, it didn't have to do with Christmas. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it here. I give it a 4 out of 5. I like this movie a lot. I think it's a great fun watch. The next thing we watched when we visited Bridget's parents for the holidays. We watched it streaming there, but I have a physical copy to hold up and show you guys, and that is Office Christmas Party. This movie here has grown on me every time I've watched it. Didn't love it when I saw it in theaters. I rewatched it like a year or two ago and thought it was better. This year I watched it. I was laughing out loud at multiple parts. It has grown on me every time. So many great performances in this movie. Kate McKinnon, Jason Bateman, TJ Miller is great in this movie. The chemistry is so good. It might not be the most realistic, story, but it's a very fun, enjoyable R-rated Christmas comedy. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, it has gone up every time grade-wise for me. So yeah, Office Christmas Party, definitely a fun R-rated Christmas movie. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. The next thing we watched was The Best of Enemies. Earlier when I was talking about Queen and Slim, I kind of hinted at this movie. Basically, it takes place back 60s, starring, excuse me, Sam Rockwell, Taraji P. Henson. The movie is predictable. It's way too drawn out, and overall, just meh, as I like to say. I put here, we've seen a lot of movies like this in the last 5 years. Examples, BlacKkKlansman, Hidden Figures, Green Book. And this one just was definitely the least enjoyable by a lot out of that group. Sam Rockwell is excellent and carries his weight in the movie, but everything else is just bland retread in my opinion. Did not like this one. I can't say much nice about it or much more about it. I give it a 2 out of 5. I've just noticed I've been sitting on like an angle the whole time. So next, my favorite Christmas movie. We watched it a couple days before Christmas. It is a must watch for me every year. Even if I don't watch any other Christmas movies, I need to see this. And that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with My Sweet Green Christmas Case. This was part of the 20th anniversary edition tin. This movie is so hilarious. I think it is probably one of the most realistic Christmas movies there is. Cousin Eddie is my favorite character in the movie. Aunt Bethany's a close second. There's so many jokes that work and so few that fall flat. And this is a comedy that is 30 years old when I watched it. But man, like, why is this blurry? What? Bam, we're gonna do that. Like, why? How can this comedy just hold up so well? And why doesn't it happen more often with comedies that they hold up over time? I guess the classic ones do. So 4.5 out of 5, my favorite Christmas movie. And then Christmas happened, and then after Christmas occurred, and it was back to watching just kind of catch up movies, that we had missed. The first thing was just something I watched by myself. I don't have a lot to say about it. Watched it on Netflix, Triple Frontier. I personally don't really care for Oscar Isaac, and he was the lead in the movie, so that kind of took it out for me. The movie starts out pretty slow, but picks up after 45 minutes and, chugs along like an action movie after that. But then it loses steam in the third act. It was okay. Ben Affleck's in it. I don't have much to say. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. Definitely don't need to rewatch it or anything. And next will be the surprise of the month. Movie we watched with RJ. Yep, we watched with RJ. We all had never seen it, didn't know what to expect. And that is The Kid Who Would Be King. And this was a really fun watch, guys. This is a really good family King Arthur movie. Very cool visuals in the film. Good performances from the young actors. A bunch of unknown actors, in my opinion. I had never heard of them. But just a fun action, kids-friendly movie. The false ending in the movie didn't really, do it for me and felt really unnecessary. But it was enjoyed by all three of us, and we'll definitely watch it again. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Definitely, if you guys haven't checked this out or heard of it, The Kid Who Would Be King came out from 20th Century Fox probably like a year ago, early 2019. And yeah, it was good. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was a fun time. The next thing I watched was The Fanatic, starring John Travolta. And I'm just going to read my review that I wrote out, verbatim. And yeah. Wow, wow, wow. That was something else. When the movie's main character utters his first line of dialogue, I knew this was going to be something special. The dialogue I speak of is, "I can't talk too long, I gotta poo." This movie, while not good, was definitely watchable. Among the lines of something like The Room, in my opinion. I can definitely see this becoming a cult classic over time. However, the shameless plug in the movie for the writer-director's own band is pretty heavy-handed and really annoying. But overall, it's a fun time. And at an 85-minute runtime, it's definitely something people should sit and watch. So, The Fanatic is available on Amazon Prime. It's basically the story of Moose, played by John Travolta, who's obsessed with an actor, played by Devon Sawa, and written and directed by Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit. And yeah, guys, it is something to watch. I definitely, compared to The Room, I would definitely sit and watch it again. I think it would be very fun to watch it with like a group of people at a party in a theater. Definitely cult status on this movie. I'm calling it right now. I would even get the Blu-ray at some point to have in my collection. Like I said, it's on Amazon Prime for free right now. Check it out if you have the ability to watch it on Amazon Prime. And then last, not least, Dumbo on 4K, the remake, the live action. Now this remake was okay. It did something different, which a lot of the remakes don't do, except for make the movie longer and don't add to them. This kind of switched it all up. Definitely one of the more watchable remakes in recent memory, but it still feels unnecessary overall. I think not having seen the original Dumbo in a long time helps with that, because Bridget said that there was a lot added to the movie. Really great performances from Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton in this one. Colin Farrell's all right in it, nothing amazing, but I give it a 3 out of 5. I liked it more than Aladdin. Yeah. So I give it a 3 out of 5. Definitely something I would watch again in due time. Looked really good on 4K. And that's it, guys. That is everything I watched in December. Like I said, more videos coming. January review video is going to be a huge one. Thank you to Mill Creek for sending over that stuff. A link to their website can be found down below. You can also buy those titles on Amazon. Best Buy sometimes has Mill Creek stuff. I know, recently they've had a whole section of Mill Creek releases. So that's it. As always, thank you for watching the video, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Give me a sub if you don't already. Leave comments. I try to respond to as many of them as possible, guys. The other thing I wanted to mention is Links down below to Letterboxd, where I rate and review all the movies I watch. Facebook, Twitter, I was trying to fight that cough. Instagram, my Amazon wish list, my email address, my P.O. box, all that can be found down below. Links to my eBay page also down there. Blu-ray.com profile, all that good stuff. As always, guys, until next time, who's down to movie, baby?